I'm Phoenix Wright, and I genuinely don't remember what I was doing.
Saving.
Think I already saved, but it wouldn't be this playthrough if I didn't save twice every time. Ah, Valentine's Day.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said.
This is a flashback. That's just the way it is. It really... We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved.
Lana, problematic.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I never knew that the SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dart killings.
Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me.
Lana wanted Dart convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me.
What do you mean, what happened to you?
It's all there in the file.
I read that file.
Joe Dark's last victim was prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence.
But what did you have to do with those killings, Emma?
On the night prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me.
What? He tried to kill you?
Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me.
So that means you...
Yes. I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial.
She was 13. I didn't see that one coming.
It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of year, too. Wouldn't that make her 15?
Well, she's almost 16 now, according to what she says at the beginning of the case. So
Oh,
she's
okay.
15.
I thought she was almost 17.
No, I think in the court record, I think it says she's 16, but she definitely said almost 16 at the beginning.
This is not an important thing to be arguing about.
I care.
There was a terrible thunderstorm that day. Unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work.
Yeah?
Okay, so if you exist in this game, don't go to your sister's office.
Yeah.
No.
Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office.
Going to your sister's office in Ace Attorney is traveling to a secondary location. You will not be okay. Joe Dark.
It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up.
Jake Marshall's brother.
Joe Dark tried to take me hostage. But before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then...
What happened?
I'll never forget it. Lightning struck and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now.
A permanent picture?
I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall.
So you weren't able to testify about that?
No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why she made up the crime.
Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence?
Civilization.
Bogus evidence, man!
The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly.
Cody Hackins is actually an extra from Bill and Ted.
Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it.
Edgeworth?
Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it.
I feel like Emma is telling you her sob story. Maybe now is not the time to be like, sorry, did you say Miles Edgeworth?
He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened.
So it's true, even though he may have not known it. Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence.
After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold like she is today.
She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. What did you see in the instant that crime occurred?
So I saw a guy. He was getting stabbed.
He looks like an onion. His hair looks like an onion.
Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife.
Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl.
I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently, I passed out.
Apparently, you either did or you didn't.
When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms.
So you did.
Poor Emma. You've been through so much.
We had a bonding moment. I cradled you in my arms.
I couldn't
that
bring
was
myself to
fun,
testify about that incident.
That's why I had to restrain myself.
Yeah, it's sad that I knew.
I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good.
Me every time
just
I
drawn
draw
an
a
onion.
picture. 2 years ago, you must have been 14. Well, actually, that's understandable. That you weren't good at art.
But now,
Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies. And find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way, Lana would never have to forge any.
Yikes. I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. Deep-seated trauma.
That's every character.
That's
in this game.
everyone in this game. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma.
What is it?
This Rubik's Cube. You said you were in Lana's office at that time, right? I'm glad you enjoyed that.
That's right.
Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor?
Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day.
Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Who else?
Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office.
But why did he run all the way over to your sister's office?
Because the detective's offices and the questioning room are right across from the elevator.
Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she?
No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. She was the best in the entire force.
Oh? What? That's news to me.
After the Joe Dart case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor.
Lana used to be a detective? I'd better have another talk with her. Wow, I wonder
Lana never
where we
went to
should
law
go.
school? That's concerning.
She did go to law school because that's where she met Mia.
How was she a detective at the same time?
I think she went to law school and then became a detective.
That's so stupid. Why
And
would she
then
do that?
became a prosecutor.
Her career path is terrible.
Well, I'm sorry,
I'm
it's
calling
not up
her
to
out
you.
right
Emma's
now.
just destroying this woman's entire career.
Also, how is she a detective without being on the streets first? This does make makes no sense.
Emma's
The progression
literally coming
doesn't
for this
exist.
woman's entire career.
Yeah.
Lana,
Oh fuck, sorry.
why would she say her own name?
I don't know! I just saw her face and I can't. I'm not doing.
You walk into the detention center and Lana goes, Lana.
A Pokemon. Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble.
Falsifying evidence. I didn't think you were the type.
Criminals don't mind playing foul. Why should we?
Because
Go on.
that's a crime. But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty.
Believe me, I understand the risks.
Lana. Emma told me about you.
Oh?
About how you were a detective 2 years ago, and how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office.
That's right.
Could you fill me in on the details, especially about that unusual change of jobs?
Yes, please. Unusual, like you must have bribed your way into it because no one becomes a detective.
I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright.
Haha!
Ho-ho-ho.
Ha 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 ha! Oh ho ho! A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago.
Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be.
That trial, it really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana.
No
Not
more.
present tense. I believed that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth.
It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul.
To the devil.
I hope it was worth it.
Well,
She's a
all
warlock.
drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15 there was no murder at the police department.
Tell me it's not true, Lana. What the witness, Miss Starr, said. About you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us?
Emma, this doesn't involve just me.
But you are a large player in the problem.
I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so phased before.
It's true. I was a member of the police force 2 years ago.
She was amazing.
She forged evidence.
They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together.
This is
I
like,
don't like how that image looks.
I was about to say I think this is the least whack expression that we've seen Gant make.
Yeah.
But he is
I just don't
absurdly
want his
beefy.
posture. It's very odd.
Hawkeye initiative. Except her butt's not quite in the photo. Chief Gant? Wait, no, dude, no, never mind. I don't want to see Gant in that pose. I have seen some shit on Twitter, folks.
He was the deputy chief of police back then, but he still worked the crime scenes. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be.
First and
Damon is
foremost,
close to
a
demon.
beefcake.
They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed.
Emma really
That's not how it
idolizes her
works.
big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened?
I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was...
You are a fool.
To gain experience investigating crime scenes so you could use that experience in court, right?